If you had a business and that business wasn't doing well, you'd look at the business right. You'd check the numbers. You'd check the product. You'd check the marketing. You'd check the people. But here's what most people never check. They never check the person running it. They never look in the mirror and say, maybe the problem is me, and maybe the solution is me too. That's the whole ball game right there. See, we live in a world that tells you to change everything except yourself. Change your job. Change your spouse. Change your circumstances. Change your luck. Change your government. Change the economy. Move to a different city. Start over somewhere new. But the one thing we rarely change? Ourselves. And that's backward. Here's the key. If you change the person you are, everything around you starts to change too. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but in real time, in your life right now. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's the law of life itself. You change, your world changes. Now listen, most people spend their whole lives trying to move the furniture in their house without ever building a stronger foundation. They rearrange, they shuffle, they move this here and that there, but the house is still sitting on the same weak foundation. That's what trying to change circumstances without changing yourself looks like. You're just rearranging the same problems. But when you work on you, when you decide to improve who you are as a person, you're pouring concrete on that foundation. You're building something real, something solid, something that will support an entirely different life. Jot this down. Your income is determined largely by your skills. That's just the way it works. A person with poor skills makes poor money. A person with excellent skills makes excellent money. And the beautiful part, skills can be learned, skills can be developed, skills can be improved. I learned this early on. When I first started, I wasn't making much money. Not because the market wasn't there, not because opportunity wasn't there, but because I wasn't there. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't understand my craft. So I did what a lot of people do when they're not making money. I got frustrated. I blamed the company. I blamed the economy. I blamed the people around me. But one day, and I remember this like it was yesterday, I was sitting in my kitchen in the morning with my coffee, and my mentor, a man named Earl Shofaf, he said something to me that changed everything. He said, Jim, the money is out there. The only question is, are you ready to go get it? That question hit me hard because I realized I wasn't ready. My skills weren't ready. My knowledge wasn't ready. My understanding wasn't ready. The problem wasn't the money. The problem was me. So I made a decision right then. I started to study, started reading books, started going to seminars, started practicing my craft, started improving my skills. And you know what happened? My income changed. Not because the world changed, but because I changed. And when I changed, the world had no choice but to treat me differently. Here's what I learned from that. If you want to earn more, you have to learn more. If you want to be worth more, you have to grow more. If you want more abundance in your life, you have to become more abundant as a person. The better you become, the better your life becomes. It's that simple. Now, here's the next one. Improve your thinking and your decisions improve. This is critical. Most people don't realize that the quality of their life is determined by the quality of the decisions they make, not by chance, not by luck, but by decisions. And decisions come from thinking. So if your thinking is shallow, your decisions will be shallow. If your thinking is confused, your decisions will be confused. If your thinking is limited, your decisions will be limited. But if you work on your thinking, if you expand your perspective, if you develop your wisdom, if you study how successful people think and why they think that way, if you challenge your own assumptions and beliefs, then your decisions automatically get better. And when your decisions get better, your life gets better. It's cause and effect. Think about it. The man who gets in financial trouble didn't wake up one day and decide to be poor. He made a series of small decisions, bad thinking, short-term thinking, selfish thinking, self-defeating thinking. Those decisions accumulated, and now he's in trouble. But the man who builds wealth, He didn't get lucky either. He thought differently. He studied the principles of wealth. He made better decisions. He delayed gratification. He thought long term. He thought about contribution. He thought about value. And those decisions accumulated too, and they built him a fortune. Same time, same economy, same starting point maybe, different thinking, different decisions, different life. Here's the key. Your thinking is like your mind's garden. If you don't cultivate it, weeds will grow. If you don't plant good seeds, nothing good will grow. But if you tend to it, if you plant wisdom, if you plant principle, if you plant truth, then your garden becomes a place where good decisions naturally grow. And a good decision today becomes a good life tomorrow. Now let's talk about your body. Improve your health and your energy improves. Can't skip this one. A lot of people think they can neglect their health and just power through. Work yourself down to nothing. Skip the exercise, skip the sleep, eat whatever is convenient, and the body will just keep performing at peak capacity. That's not how it works. Your body is like a machine. You treat it well, it performs well. You neglect it, it breaks down. You abuse it, it rebels. I've learned this through experience. Used to think I could just go without ever stopping to maintain. Thought the body was built on willpower alone, but willpower isn't fuel. Food is fuel. Sleep is fuel. Exercise is fuel. Proper care is fuel. When I finally got serious about my health, the transformation was remarkable. Not just physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Better sleep meant clearer thinking. Better nutrition meant more consistent energy. Regular exercise meant more emotional resilience. My capacity to handle challenges increased because my body was actually taking care of itself. Here's what I'm talking about. A tired person makes tired decisions. A sick person makes sick decisions. An unhealthy body creates an unhealthy mind. But a person who takes care of their health, a person who gets proper sleep and exercises and eats nutritious food, that person wakes up with power, with clarity, with the physical and mental energy to tackle whatever comes their way. The beautiful part? You just have to be consistent. A little walk every day beats a marathon once a year. Regular vegetables beats sporadic salads. Consistent sleep beats weekend catch-up. Small daily improvements create enormous cumulative effects. Jot this down. Improve your character and your relationships improve. This is profound. Your character is who you are when nobody's watching. It's your integrity. It's your honesty. It's your reliability. It's your respect for others. It's the values you actually live by, not the ones you claim to believe in. Now most people want better relationships, but they don't want to work on themselves to deserve better relationships. They want people to treat them well, but they haven't developed the character to maintain those better relationships. It doesn't work that way. Think about it this way. If you're dishonest, you'll attract dishonest people. If you're unreliable, you'll attract unreliable people. If you're selfish, you'll attract selfish people. Your character is like a magnet. It draws to you people of similar character. So if you want better people in your life, you have to become a better person. If you want people you can trust, you have to become trustworthy. If you want people who respect you, you have to become respectable. If you want people who are generous, you have to become generous. I've seen this happen countless times. A man works on his character, becomes more honest, becomes more reliable, becomes more giving, and suddenly the people around him change. Not because they're different people, but because he's attracting different people. The old relationships that were based on false pretenses fall away, and new relationships based on genuine character come in. His marriage improves, his friendships deepen, his business relationships become more fruitful, all because he changed. Here's the key. Your character is your foundation with people. Build a strong foundation and strong relationships will stand on it. Neglect your character and the best relationships will eventually crumble because there's nothing holding them up. Now let me tell you something about the ripple effect. When you improve yourself, you don't just improve your own life. You improve everyone around you. It's like dropping a stone in still water. The ripples spread out far beyond where the stone landed. A father works on his patience and suddenly his children feel safer. A mother develops her courage and her family becomes braver. A businessman improves his integrity, and his organization becomes more trustworthy. These aren't small changes. These are wave patterns in the lives of people around you. Real influence isn't about convincing people to do what you want. Real influence is about becoming someone worth following. I remember watching a mentor who didn't have to demand respect. People gave it freely because he had spent years developing himself. His knowledge was impressive. His character was solid. His wisdom was evident, and he lifted everyone around him. That's the ripple effect of self-improvement. You don't have to be perfect to have influence. You just have to be better. You don't have to have all the answers to inspire people. You just have to be actively seeking answers. When people see you working on yourself, they're inspired to work on themselves. You become contagious. Your growth becomes contagious. Now, here's something that trips people up. They think working on themselves is selfish. They think self-improvement is self-centered. They think they should be focused on others, not themselves. And I understand that impulse. It comes from a good place, but it's backward. Working on yourself is the most generous thing you can do. When you improve your skills, you become more valuable to your employer and to your family. When you improve your health, you're not a burden on others. You're a resource for them. When you improve your character, you become someone people can count on. When you improve your knowledge, you become someone people can learn from. You're not being selfish. You're making yourself more valuable to everyone around you. Think of it this way. A doctor who works on becoming a better doctor helps more patients. A teacher who works on becoming a better teacher helps more students. A parent who works on becoming a better parent helps their children more. A leader who works on becoming a better leader helps their organization more. Improving yourself is the highest form of service you can give to others. I spent years trying to change the world, trying to fix other people, and nothing worked. Then I realized the problem wasn't the world. The problem was me. My approach was wrong. My skills were insufficient. So I stopped trying to change the world and started working on me. And here's what happened. As I changed, my perspective changed. As my perspective changed, my approach changed. And the irony? The world started changing around me, not because I forced it, but because I was different. That's the paradox. The shortest path to changing your circumstances is to change yourself. You can't control the world. You can't control other people, but you can control you. And when you do, the whole world adjusts to the new you. Every season in nature teaches us about improvement. A seed doesn't become a tree overnight. It grows a little each day. Years of consistent growth. That's how personal improvement works. You don't transform overnight. You become a master through consistent small improvements, day after day, year after year. The compound effect of small improvements is astronomical. Most people quit because they don't see results fast enough. They work on themselves for a week or two and give up. But that's not how it works. If you stay with it, if you keep practicing, if you keep developing your character, then slowly the transformation becomes visible. And one day people notice. You look healthier, you sound wiser, you're more confident, but they only see the result. Working on yourself is not the easiest path. It requires discipline, it requires honesty, it requires you to face uncomfortable truths. Some days you won't feel like practicing, some days you won't feel like studying. That's when discipline matters. That's when you keep going anyway. The easy path is full of regret. The easy path is what most people take, and most people are not living the lives they want. But the path of self-improvement is hard at first, but gets easier as you go, and it's the only path that leads to genuine fulfillment. There's always a period of struggle at the beginning. The learning curve is steep. You feel incompetent. But if you push through that initial period, something shifts. The skill becomes natural. The discipline becomes a habit. Don't quit during the hard part. That's when the real change is happening. Most people quit right before the breakthrough. Don't be that person. Be the person who stays with it. Your potential is enormous. You have capacities within you that you haven't discovered yet. Skills, wisdom, strength, health, character. But that potential stays dormant until you work on yourself. It's like a seed. The seed has all the potential to become a mighty tree, but it won't become a tree on its own. You have to plant it, you have to water it, you have to tend it. That's what you are. You're like that seed. You have all the potential inside you, but you have to activate it, you have to work on it, you have to develop it. And when you do, the results are extraordinary. The vast majority of people live their whole lives never discovering what they're truly capable of. They finish their lives with so much of their potential still locked inside. But you don't have to be that person. You can decide right now to work on yourself, to develop your skills, to expand your knowledge, to improve your health, to strengthen your character, and to see what emerges when you do. When you work on yourself, your confidence grows. Not arrogance, but genuine confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you can handle challenges. And that confidence becomes self-fulfilling. When you're confident, you attempt more. You try things other people won't try, and some work out which builds more confidence. It's a beautiful cycle. Work on yourself, gain confidence, try more, achieve more. The opposite is true too. Neglect yourself, lose confidence, attempt fewer things, achieve less. That's the downward spiral. But you get to choose which direction you go. Jot this down. Your future is determined by the choices you make today, not by what happened yesterday, not by your circumstances, not by your luck, but by what you choose to do right now. And the best choice you can make is to work on yourself. Here's the truth. If you improve yourself, you improve your skills and income. You improve your thinking and decisions. You improve your health and energy. You improve your character and relationships. You improve your influence and ability to lead. Everything improves when you improve. Now, I want to be clear. Improvement isn't just about becoming better at what you do. It's about becoming a better version of who you are, a person of more wisdom, more courage, more integrity, more generosity, more patience, more discipline, more excellence. Your life is defined by who you become, the skills you develop, the character you build, the person you become. That's what matters. I've met wealthy people who are miserable because they never developed the character or relationships that would make wealth meaningful. And I've met people with little money who are content because they have integrity, they have friends, they have family, they have purpose, and that's enough. When you work on yourself, work on the whole you. Work on your character, work on your wisdom, work on your generosity, work on your courage, work on your discipline. Work on all of it. Excellence is a habit. You don't achieve excellence by doing excellent things once in a while. You achieve excellence by doing excellent things consistently, by bringing excellence to everything you do. The person you will become in 5 years will be determined almost entirely by two things: the books you read and the people you spend time with. That's it. Books are teachers. The greatest minds in history have written books. You can sit in your home and learn from their wisdom. You can stand on the shoulders of giants. And people, the people you spend time with shape you. You absorb their attitudes, their values, their energy. If you spend time with great people, you'll think great. You'll push yourself to their level. Be intentional about what you read and who you spend time with. These are the decisions that will shape your entire life. Here's what I learned. Nothing changes until you change. Not your circumstances, not your relationships, not your finances, not your health, nothing. But when you change, everything can change. You become the variable. You become the key. You become the answer. And that's empowering because it means your life is not fixed. Your future is not written. You're not a victim of your past. You're not defined by your starting point. You're defined by whether you're willing to work on yourself. That's the beautiful freedom of it. You might not be able to control the economy. You might not be able to control the market. You might not be able to control other people. But you can control you. You can work on yourself. You can read. You can study, you can practice, you can exercise, you can develop your character, you can build your skills, you can expand your knowledge, you can improve your health, you can strengthen your mind. And when you do, when you really commit to working on yourself, everything starts to shift. Your life starts to improve. Your world starts to change. Not because the world is different, but because you're different. And the world has no choice but to adjust to the new you. So, let me ask you, what part of yourself needs improvement? What skill is underdeveloped? What habit needs to change? Just think about it. Because the real work starts when you acknowledge it, when you stop pretending, when you look in the mirror and say, okay, this is where I am, and this is where I want to be, and here's what I'm going to do about it. That's the moment everything changes. Here's the key. Start small. You don't have to transform your whole life overnight. Pick one thing. One skill you want to develop, one book you want to read, one habit you want to change, one area of your health you want to improve. Start with one thing. Give it consistent attention and watch what happens. Because small disciplines lead to big results. A person who reads for just 30 minutes every day will finish 50 books in a year. 50 books in a year is 50 hours of wisdom from the greatest minds. What will you know after a year of that? What will you become? A person who exercises 30 minutes every day will have exercised over 180 hours in a year. What will your body look like? What will your health be? A person who practices a skill for 1 hour every day will have practiced over 360 hours in a year. What level of mastery will you achieve? This is not complicated. This is basic mathematics. Consistency multiplied by time equals transformation. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to be lucky. You just have to be consistent. Jot this down. Your life is a reflection of the investments you make in yourself, not the investments you make in things, not the investments you make in possessions, but the investments you make in your own growth, your own development, your own improvement. And the return on that investment is extraordinary. It's the greatest investment you could possibly make because you take it with you wherever you go. You can lose money. You can lose possessions. You can lose opportunities. But nobody can take away from you the person you've become, the skills you've developed, the knowledge you've gained, the character you've built. That stays with you. That travels with you. That opens doors for you for the rest of your life. So invest in yourself. Read, study, practice, exercise, develop your character, strengthen your mind, improve your health, build your skills, expand your knowledge, challenge yourself, push yourself, grow yourself. Because when you improve yourself, everything improves. Your income improves, your relationships improve, your health improves, your opportunities improve, your influence improves, your life improves. It all improves. That's not a promise. That's a law. It's how life works. You improve. Everything improves. You stay the same. Everything stays the same. You decline. Everything declines. The choice is yours. The work is yours. The responsibility is yours. And the rewards are yours too. So what are you going to do starting right now? What improvement will you commit to? What will you work on? Who will you become? What life will you build? Here's my last thought for you. You have more potential than you've used. You have more capacity than you've developed. You have more to give. You have more to become. And it all starts when you decide to work on yourself. Not tomorrow, not next year, but today, right now, in this moment. Because your future is calling. And the only way to meet it is to become the person capable of living it. And that person is built one day at a time, one choice at a time, one improvement at a time. So begin. Start today. Work on yourself and watch as your entire world transforms around you. That's the power of personal improvement. That's the magic of self-development. That's the law that never fails. If you improve yourself, everything improves.